You're listening to JTE Movie Thinks. Is that the title? Is that correct grammar? All right, we'll go with it. It's a show about movies and thinking. And now, here's your host, every man's hero, JTE.
Hey guys, what is going on? JTE here with a brand new episode of JTE Movie Thinks. Thanks for coming back, guys. Been having so much fun doing these podcasts, and I got another great guest this week. The person that actually made it possible for JTE Movie Thinks to even be around because I didn't have a microphone. And I was like, you know what? I want to do a podcast. Miss Movies was nice enough to give me her microphone. Thank you, Miss Movies.
You're welcome. And you're welcome to everyone at home.
Yes.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this.
That's very true, guys. If it was not for Miss Movies, I would not be doing this. And one of the first podcasts I did besides the Schmoes Know was your podcast, Miss Movies. Was it Miss Movies Minute or was it just Miss Movies Podcast?
Miss Movies Minute.
Okay.
Always Miss Movies. MMM.
MMM, yeah. Gotcha. And I'm trying to remember what was the category that we covered on that episode. I believe it was remakes or something like that.
Could have been remakes.
Could have been remakes. I remember Back to the Future came up at some point.
Of course, because
it's you, yeah.
Because there's two things I talk about, and one is Back to the Future, and the other is Troop Beverly Hills.
Wow, you know what, guys? Go on iTunes, go find the Miss Movies podcast. It's still up there, right?
It is still up there.
There's some great interviews on there, but not just me, but Christian and Mark. Ellis was on there a couple times.
He was pretty much my unofficial co-host, like at some point.
I remember you had a great episode with Catherine Reitman, and you also did a great episode with somebody who covered 2001: The Space Odyssey.
Oh yeah, Matt Colville.
Matt Colville. Okay, that was a great episode because he gave some great insight to 2001: Space Odyssey, which I love that movie. And if you're a film geek, it's not for everybody, but it's a very good movie. And that guy gave some great inside information and just kind of like brought a whole nother intellectual kind of study of it that I never really thought of.
He's amazing. Like listening to his podcast about 2001, which I spliced into the end of the episode that I have with him.
Okay.
It's just like, it makes so much sense now.
Yeah,
like
that's
before
what I
thought 2001 was just like all these particles in the air and I had no idea what it was really about. And I feel like he just kind of like funneled it right into my brain. Like
exactly.
It went there.
Some people, when someone's smarter than you and they're able to explain it,
I don't know about smarter than me. I'm just kidding.
I'm
joking.
Sorry. Smarter than me.
Okay, sure. We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
So I think you know how this works. You're a listener. What I do is I like to have people on. I like to say, what's the last movie you watched from beginning to end? And I say this to a lot of people because, you know, a lot of people I have on are critics. They do press. I don't want to know what the last movie you had to watch, whether it be like somebody said you had to watch this for a project or something you want to do a review. You're still doing some. When was the last time you did a podcast review? Or like a video review? A video review.
A video review?
You did like some.
What do you mean?
I remember you did one for Point Break at one point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
And
that's back in the day.
You did one for Backdraft.
I did, and I dress up. I like to dress up. I would love to do that again.
You should do some more of those because I used to love watching those. And it's always fun to hear other people's opinions, especially girl. There's not a lot of good reviewers out there, by the way.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Like there needs to be more.
There's more
for sure.
Now. I feel like there was before. I mean, Alicia Malone is. I thought I was a movie geek. That girl puts me to shame at times because she knows her classic films like no one I've ever met. But so let me ask you, what was the last movie you watched? And again, I want to know the last movie you watched out of not like with the kids or on the field trip.
Not with the kids.
Not with the kids. I'm throwing that out there.
Okay.
Something you wanted to watch. And you watched it from the beginning to end.
Now, let me just go over a few things that I've seen recently. Just because I want you all to know the pain that is my life sometimes. Okay, with children.
Okay.
All right, well, the last movie I saw in theaters, awesome, Furious 7. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Loved that.
Cool.
Now, that's not my most recent, though.
Okay.
These are the most recent within this last week.
Oh, really?
This last week, I watched Big Hero 6.
That's with the kids, I'm guessing?
Yes. I watched Hop.
Oh, God.
Which is the worst movie I think I've ever seen in my life. Well, maybe not the worst, but it's up there.
Was Russell Brand the voice of the rabbit?
Russell Brand.
God, okay.
His name's E.B. in the movie.
Oh,
Anyways,
God.
And I watched a short film called The Snowman, which is actually a really good.
Is it like a Disney thing?
It's not a Disney thing. It was basically like illustrated from a book.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Okay, cool.
It's just a little boy and the adventures he goes on with the snowman.
That sounds cool. I'll check that out.
You should. Is it on
YouTube?
Definitely it's on Amazon. You could definitely get it there.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
But the last one that I actually put into my DVD, which was last night, and I was like,
DVD?
It was a DVD.
Oh, okay.
I put it into the DVD player, my PlayStation 3 or whatever. was The Parent Trap.
Oh my god.
Not with Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, not the Lindsay Lohan movie. Okay.
No.
Oof. All right, so which one did... I don't even remember what the one was before that.
You know what is also on that same DVD? What? This is a double feature, my friends. No. It is The Parent Trap from like 1961.
Okay.
You know, I need Scott Mance on that. And then The Parent Trap 2, which came out in the 80s and was a TV movie. And it was absolutely awful.
It was absolutely awful?
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. You saw the original?
The original,
1961,
yes.
You said? Probably?
60s.
Who
61,
and who is the main star? Is anybody famous?
Haley Mills is the main star. I'm sorry, you haven't seen this?
No.
Hold on. Just a moment.
I mean, I remember...
Are you serious? Okay, wait, you've seen the Lindsay Lohan
First
one,
of all, I'm a boy.
Okay. I understand that.
I wasn't exactly running to see The Parent Trap when I was a kid. I was at the video store. My dad was like, do you want Transformers? Do you want Ninja Turtles? Or do you want The Parent Trap? I was going for Ninja Turtles and Transformers. Okay. Now listen, that being said, I have 2 younger sisters.
Okay.
And I remember them watching the Lohan movie.
Okay.
And I don't think my sisters ever went back and said, we need to find the original. But they were aware of it. They probably did see it on TV. Now, I remember the remake had, again, I know this is the remake, but it was Lohan, I think Dennis Quaid.
Right.
I can't remember who played the mother in that one.
Natasha something.
Natasha Hestridge? Something like that? Okay. Robinson?
It's Liam Neeson's wife.
Yes. Okay, and
Thank
by
you,
the way,
Howard.
guys, Stacey Howard is in the audience seat.
Is her name? Wait, what's her first name?
Stacey?
No, not you.
Natasha. Robertson.
Okay.
Robinson, something
Okay,
like that.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, Liam Neeson's wife is
Yes.
Tragically.
Right.
And the ski accident.
Yep.
I know that's not her last name either. It's close though.
Richardson.
We have technology.
Yes, we will look it up. But all right, so again, this is not the remake.
We're not talking about that one.
Have you seen the remake?
I've seen the remake.
How faithful is the remake to the original?
Not very much.
Really, not very much.
It's similar in the fact that the girls meet at camp and then they try to get their parents back together.
And they switch places, kind of, right?
They do.
Okay. Talk me through this movie.
The difference is like in the remake, she has like an English accent. She's from England or something random. I didn't watch that film.
Okay.
And in this one, one of the girls is from Boston and one of the girls is from California, and then they meet at this summer camp. Now, the summer camp that they're going to is kind of like a boarding summer camp, which is very much an East Coast thing. Like I looked up information a long time ago about like this type of camp because I was so confused as to why it was like a 6-week camp or something like that. I was like, why is it a 6-week camp? I go to ones that are 1 week.
I've never been to summer camp in my life,
so I have no idea what people are even talking about with this.
First of all, let me get the plot out of the way a little bit.
Okay.
Are they like 2 twins that were separated at birth? Or are they actually... No. Is this like Time Cop, where like if the same matter enters the same space, the world's going to explode? If you see someone that looks exactly like you, like this movie is trying to do, it's a sci-fi movie basically at that point. How is this like...
Okay, so their parents at one time were married.
Okay.
They divorced when they were 1 year old, and they decided to split them up.
So they are twins.
I will take one child. Okay. You take the other child. Completely ridiculous story. Nothing like that would ever happen. No. Like, she said, the mom...
So they are related twins. They're twins.
Yes, they are twins.
For some reason, I thought maybe they weren't twins.
This is my mom. She was married to this guy. Okay. He is my dad.
Yeah, and then there's no, like...
And they've completely been okay with, I'm just going to have this one. You have that one. Don't talk to me ever again. Maybe, like, I don't get it.
Maybe in the 50s, I could actually see that being a possibility. Like, there's no technology. It's like, I'm going here, I'll take it here. And that's it.
Well, there is reference to it at some point where she's like, legally, you belong to your father. Oh, okay. Legally, she belongs to me, or something like that. Like, okay. And I just thought, the wheels turn, and you're like, when did these divorce proceedings begin? How is how are the grandparents okay with this situation? Yeah. Like, we really hate this guy, obviously.
They get into that?
No, because they just, it's a little more rosy than that. It's just kind of like, let's bring them together. It's based on a book. So I want to say maybe written by a Frenchman, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Because the title was in a different language and I didn't recognize it.
All right.
So we'll go with French. We'll pretend.
Jermaine Pardue, whatever that guy's name is, maybe he wrote the book. Who's that Pardue guy? You know what I'm talking about?
You know what? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know either.
Gerard Depardieu is what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah.
Of course he wrote it.
The French have very different taste.
So maybe in France they do that.
Maybe France is a normal thing. Now, what I remember, and again, a lot of the information I'm pulling here is from the Lohan film.
I can't believe you haven't seen this.
And it's just not something.
And we're talking about the Lohan film, which is totally sucky.
Different. Well, let me ask you this. I think I remember them both being very opposites. Like one's like a wild child, the other one's like very much do your homework and go to bed early.
Yes, one is a little more proper than the other. I like the one that's not proper.
Okay.
I think she's more fun.
Well,
obviously.
Yeah, I think that
obviously.
Makes sense.
But
so they switch sides. Do they like when summer camp's over? They each go with the different parents. Is that what happens?
So when they see each other, see each other the first day of camp, and it's like they're looking into a mirror. And one girl has long hair and one girl has short hair. Okay, because you have to make it.
Yeah,
you have to know.
Of course.
So then eventually they hate each other at first.
Okay.
And obviously, because they're like, "Why do you look like me? I don't understand. What's happening?"
What are the camp counselors saying? Are they freaking out?
Okay, no. Okay, well, we'll get there.
Okay.
So then they kind of like, they kind of have a little war with each other. Like first, one girl tips the other girl's canoe, and then the other girl and her cabin mates come into their room, into the cabin of the girl from Boston, the prim and proper one, and they mess it all up, and they it looks awful. And I don't know how this one girl had toothpaste all over her in the morning. I was like, that would not work. You would be burning. You would be waking up with burns and thinking, what is going on? So anyways, they basically do that so that those girls can't go to the dance with the boys' camp because their cabin is not clean. Okay, so then the girl from California with the short hair that's all kind of crazy is at the dance, and she goes outside and she's talking to the boy, and while she's talking to the boy, the other girls cut her dress so you can see the back of her underwear when she's
it's like there. Problem Child, but with two problems.
Exactly. So this is kind of that's the tipping point. So then she figures it out, and they have this, they have a fight, a physical fight.
Physical.
And then the counselors, take them into the, discipline area at some other point. Okay. Okay, we're going to discipline you now, and how can two sisters do this? And they're like, we're not sisters.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like, what do you mean? I've never met her. I've never seen her before.
Gotcha.
So then they decide to take the two girls and put them in the same cabin. For the rest of the summer, so maybe they have 4 weeks together or something.
All right.
And she's like, you're going to learn to, live with each other. Even if you don't like each other, you're going to at least learn to live with each other.
Quick question. I know with the Lohan film was camera tricks. Were this actual twins that did this movie?
No. It was Haley Mills.
They still did the whole...
Yes.
They did the whole split screen even back then.
Yes.
Oh, man.
This was a big thing. They were only going to do about 3 of those shots where you could really see them, where they overlapped it. Disney saw, the dailies or whatever they had at that time, and he said, this effect looks really good. Let's do more of this. So then they had to rework it so they could have more together.
This is a very important question. Is it seamless like in Jean-Claude Van Damme's Double Impact? Where Van Damme plays himself and his brother.
Let's discuss how many Jean-Claude Van Damme films I've actually seen.
And not only that...
Which could be 0.
There's actually another film he did later in his career called Replicant, where he plays himself and his clone.
This is amazing.
There's fight scenes where Van Damme's kicking Van Damme.
Why am I not watching this right now?
Here's another question I got for you. I feel like, being a mother, you have to watch a lot of these kids' movies, like you said.
Right.
I feel like once you get away from the kids for a while, I would think you would throw in something like RoboCop or Basic Instinct. Something that's the complete opposite of the kids' movie. And yet you went to Parenthood.
Yes, and I actually, there was a time when I was going to be on this show a little earlier, and I had watched a different movie.
Okay.
Because I was like, I want to talk about Clue, because that's one of my favorites.
Oh, wow.
But then I was like, I could watch Clue again, which is fine.
Again, another kid.
I could watch Troop Beverly Hills again, which is also fine.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've seen those movies recently.
Okay.
I have time now, and I'm going to make you suffer through the Parent Trap. Everyone.
I wish I could see your collection. How many of it is like PG to PG-13? How much of it is R-rated?
It's actually interesting because...
Do you prefer, like, R-rated films, or is it something
I
that
do,
you
actually.
Okay.
Like, there's more R-rated films in my collection, mainly because of my husband. Like, he's...
Oh, well, of course.
You know, we combined... When we got married, we combined our collection. Now it's my collection, too,
Totally
everyone.
Understand. Yeah.
So...
half of his years, half of his
That's right, and I'll take it with me.
Hey,
so...
you can take Parenthood, though.
I don't know what... We don't have Parenthood, my friend. Although, you know what? I actually was watching some of this with my daughter this morning. We watched a little bit of the second film together, and we watched the beginning of the first film because she was first watching the second film and she hadn't seen the first film. And I was like... She was enjoying it, and I was like, no... We need to actually go back and rewatch the other one because this is not okay. And then she was so excited about like that the girl's dress got cut, and she was like, "Can we watch The Family Trap again? Can we watch The Family Trap?"
Yeah, you want to introduce it to the better film.
Yes,
that's like if I had. It's like
we're not doing this.
It's like if I had a kid and Rocky V was on and he was enjoying it, I'd be like, no, son. We're starting with Rocky IV.
Yeah,
then once you're old enough, we'll get into Rocky 1 and 2. But I'll start him at 4 because that's like the big like.
Yes.
Drago is just the most exciting, and it's basically a music video, so short attention span. Kids, I think, will be able to have a good time with it. So let's go back into the Parenthood.
The Parent Trap.
The Parent Trap. I keep calling Parenthood, and by the way, I love Parenthood.
It
the
is
Ron
good.
Howard movie.
I know. Hey, that's with Keanu Reeves. My goodness.
Yeah, and Steve Martin, Rick Moranis. God, what a great cast in that movie. The Parent Trap. This was like Disney's. It's weird because I remember growing up and having Disney Channel, and they would show these old family films that weren't animated. What else was there besides Parent Trap in that time period that you really enjoyed?
There? Summer Magic.
See, never even heard of it.
Oh man, it's like a little musical. Well, this is kind of musical.
Okay.
Haley Mills is also in that.
Oh, wow.
Haley Mills is also in Pollyanna. Like, she was big. This was like her time. And if
Walt
you like,
Disney loved her,
what about Jodie Foster? I mean, you're talking Candlestick or whatever that's called, Candle Shoe, something or other. Freaky Friday. These are all of this time.
You know what's sad is
I know these movies. Treasure Island. I could go on.
I know Treasure Island. Yeah, like Treasure Island was based on a book. I almost
kind of sounded like Hal just then with my
with the
like going seamlessly. It's like ridiculous.
I'm trying to like half these movies you said like I only again the only reason why I even know Freaky Friday is because Lohan made a remake of it. What is this girl with remaking Disney movies?
I mean, Escape to Witch Mountain also, and that's been remade.
The Rock. I wouldn't remember that movie if it wasn't for The Rock.
It's really...
It's funny, and I think they're remaking another film, which was actually one of the darker films in that whole time period.
The Black Hole.
The Black Hole, exactly. Yes. I've never seen
I know where
original.
you're going. Have you seen Watcher in the Woods?
No.
Oh, man.
What's
okay,
Watcher
people, everyone. Oh.
Am I alone,
Let me just...
I've heard of it.
I'm sorry.
Have you heard of any of these movies?
A few of them.
Okay.
Not a lot, though. I mean, I'm more in your...
Okay.
You know.
All right, so first of all,
Ladies
what's
and
Watcher in the
gentlemen,
Woods?
let me just start by saying this.
What's that?
You need to see Watcher in the Woods. Like,
okay, why? Pitch it to me. Sell it to me.
It was slated to be Disney's first PG film.
Okay.
But Black Hole got pushed up, or it got pushed back. So Black Hole came out as Disney's first live-action PG film. This is like the scariest Disney movie you will probably see that's live-action that's like of its time.
That Fantasia scene in hell. It's pretty scary.
Bette Davis is in this film. She's, older.
Okay.
It's about this... I don't want to get too much into it because it is very scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, basically this family moves into a house and things kind of start happening, but it's not like a haunted house, I would say.
About to say Poltergeist style?
It's just things that start... happening around the neighborhood and happening to this girl, and you are what is happening?
Bad luck type stuff? Or what
Not
are you
bad
talking
luck.
about?
No, I
Dishes
really,
flying across the room?
have to be very vague about this because there is really good reveals and it's scary.
So it is
I was watching this film with my husband because he hadn't seen it, and I was like, "Why am I the only person that has seen this film?"
Okay.
I told the horror flick gentlemen that they need to see it because they also have not seen it.
There's a lot. You'd be surprised how many movies those guys haven't seen.
I said, if I'm coming on your show, which he had mentioned, you have to watch this, otherwise
that'd be
it's
a
not
good
happening.
episode.
So basically, like I said, I cannot tell you more, otherwise it's going to ruin it.
Now, is it one of those movies that are hard to find, like on DVD, or is it pretty easy to find?
I think you could probably just
own it on
purchase
DVD?
it. I don't.
Okay. How'd you watch
I rented it from a video store on VHS.
How long ago was this?
In 2003.
Okay.
2003 on VHS.
Say. Okay.
People.
Wow.
And I was watching it with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of his was over, and I was like, hey, you want to watch this movie with us? He's like, well, what is it? And I was like, it's Watcher in the Woods. It's scary. PG Disney film. I think, no, I don't want to watch this.
And what year are we talking?
Then it was when we were watching it? Or,
no, what year would it come out?
60s?
Yeah, it's hard to pitch anybody in the 60s.
Yeah, so,
It's in the 80s.
is it the 80s? Oh, man.
And it's also that Kyle Richards from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills just went through that.
That is amazing. Okay, so
so it's 80s.
Wow. In 1980. Okay.
Wow, yeah.
So it only has 6.5 on IMDb. Also, he was like, I don't want to watch this or whatever.
Yeah,
so he sat down and he was watching the beginning of it with us, and like a scary part came up, and he was like, I gotta go. It's time. I was like, why? It's like, I just need to leave. I gotta go.
Does your husband not handle good?
No, it wasn't my husband. It was the other guy. Oh, didn't want to watch it. That was like into it for a while, and he was like, "It's time. It's time for me to leave. I'm out. I'm pulling the chute."
No scary cats. I'm trying to think of like a darker Disney film that I really enjoy. You know, it's like growing up, I watched so many movies. Like I'm a movie geek through and through. Right. But for me, when I think Disney, I think Lion King. I think Aladdin.
Yep, animated.
I think those animated films. I don't think I had a real attachment to the live action movies. I honestly I can't really think of any. Even Mary Poppins. Like I might saw it when I was a little kid. I don't remember anything.
Yeah, that's still a musical.
Yeah, it's a musical too. I'm not a huge musical guy. Willy Wonka wasn't Disney, which was one of my favorites growing up. Yeah, it's funny how for some reason I just never really went to that live action.
Now, I do want to say this about Watcher in the Woods. Do not look up the alternate ending on YouTube.
Oh, there's alternate ending?
There is, and it is terrible.
It's terrible.
It is so bad. Don't do it. It ruined everything.
Okay, so Watcher in the Woods, guys. I might have to see if I can find it on YouTube or online somewhere, because it's probably, I'm sure you can find it on Amazon.
I'm sure you can.
But would you say it's worth a purchase, or would you recommend somebody check it out?
If it is like $12 or under, do it. If it's over that, I mean, 15's kind of pushing it. Like, I don't know about that. But yeah, anything under around
You're a big Disney fan, I believe. You go to Disney quite often, don't you?
I usually go about once a month.
Yeah.
Except for in the summer. I don't go then.
Yeah. I mean, if you follow Miss Moon's social media, it's pretty often I see you
I'll be there
some
this
Disney
week.
stuff.
Or
Are you really going this week?
Who knows when this is airing, but I will be going.
What is it about Disney that keeps bringing you back? I mean, is it the kids, or is it just like, were you going before the kids?
I never had a pass before the kids. Okay. I probably went maybe once a year or less before them. I just like it as being an outing and taking my daughter, and she enjoys it.
Love it. Yeah.
So it's just nice to see like the joy in her eyes. Although now she's, maybe she's like become immune to it or whatever. But now she has a very specific schedule of what she would like to do when we go.
Oh, when she gets there?
So it is very different. It's a lot of just walking around. She doesn't want to go on rides.
Really?
And it's just like, okay, sure. You want to go see a show? No, I just want to walk over to Mickey's house.
Let me ask you this. When you started introducing your kid to movies, what were some of the first Disney films you were like, I'm going to show him this first? Was it Disney movies? I mean,
you know what? It was things like that she would see on the shelf at, like, let's say my mother-in-law's house.
Okay.
She would see like
the pictures,
because they have a ton of DVDs there. The DVD collection really started with them. My father-in-law did some work for Disney when they started converting from VHS to DVD. So he got on like a list and would get like all the new movies, the movies they were releasing on DVD. So they have a lot of Disney films. So anytime she could like pull it out, she would like.
Yes, but what was like what was the first Disney movie she like fell in love with? Like she's like, I want to watch
Little Mermaid.
Oh,
Probably
Little Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid. We watched that over and over and over.
I love Little Mermaid. I mean, listen, as a boy growing up, I don't care if you're a boy or girl. That movie, Sebastian was the shit in that movie. I mean, Kiss the Girl is still an awesome song to this day.
It is.
And one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when he's towards the end, and the cook is trying to kill him. He's cutting all these fishes up. There's like guts everywhere.
Yeah, the problem I have with that is that he's like, he's preparing lobster, but Sebastian's not a lobster.
He's a crab.
Yes.
But I mean, crab. That's just like a little side.
I mean, I get it, but it's like you're. I'm sorry, this is a lobster dish.
Now, how do you feel? How do you feel about the fact that we're making all these Disney movies into
live action?
Live action.
You know what? I'm not.
Beauty and the Beast is coming out, and Sophia
There
Coppola
was a
is
time
doing
when
Little
those
Mermaid.
things were already out. I mean, if you look back at fairy tale theater done
Yeah.
by Shelley Duvall, all of that was coming out at that time too. Like you had Beauty and the Beast already.
I just remember
You had the boy who went to find out about the shivers with some awesome stars.
I'm so out of touch with the Disney filmography.
That's not Disney.
It's
That's
not. Oh,
like,
it wasn't Disney.
No.
Oh,
that
so
was
this
put on by Showtime.
Well,
Do your research. I'm just kidding.
I remember like the Beauty and Beast TV show with Sarah Connor from Terminator. Wasn't that a show? And then
it's like called Beastly or something stupid on the CW.
No, Beastly was This is like early '90s.
Okay.
It was Beauty and the Beast show. I remember because my mom used to watch it. But it was like, who's the guy from Hellboy? What's his name? Ron Perlman. He played the Beast with all the makeup on, and Sarah Connor.
It would be amazing.
I can't remember her real name right now.
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton played like the Beast, and she would like run off to him, and he'd be living in the sewers.
It's just a whole story of Stockholm Syndrome, so...
I mean, and Sophia Coppola is doing Little Mermaid. I don't know how she's going to do that.
That could be interesting.
The cast for Beauty and the Beast, they have a really good cast. They have Josh Gad, Ian McKellen.
Now, Josh Gad, I thought he would be like something like Lumiere, but he's just going to be LeFou.
Oh, he's LeFou.
Or whatever, something.
Have you seen
the little henchman to...
Have you seen the recent ones? Like, do you see Maleficent?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, it was okay. It wasn't that bad. I didn't hate it.
I don't. It just seems like it's like, yay, everyone! It's all actually really good. Yay! No, you're not good. Like, stop it. Get out of here.
And Cinderella? Did you see Cinderella?
I took my daughter to see Cinderella. She made it through maybe the first act and then was like, I want to leave.
Oh my god!
So I had to go, which kind of sucked because I was like, I kind of want to watch this.
So there's no negotiating there.
No,
you can't be like, hey, we're staying to watch it.
She loved Frozen Fever. Frozen Fever.
Oh, this was like a short beforehand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Loved it.
So wait, so your daughter calls the shots here? She's like, I want to leave, let's go?
It's kind of hard because, like, what do you do?
Will she throw
Wait till a tantrum? No, she wasn't throwing a tantrum.
Okay.
She was just saying, I don't want to watch this anymore. So if we were at home, I would just turn it off.
Yeah, you just
turn
it off.
No big deal. So we just left.
So I used to work in movie theater. If it's half an hour hasn't passed yet, you get your money back. Just for future reference.
I don't know if does that count when there's that short film in the front? Because then I'm screwed.
So. No, I think if it's 30 minutes into the actual movie, if you ask for a refund, they have to give you a refund.
Try
I just
that
saved
next
you
time.
some bucks.
Thank you. I'll be like, we're still on the first act, people.
And you saw Fast 7. I'm guessing you'd bring the kids to see that one.
No.
Babysitter.
No. I saw that one while they were at preschool.
Oh, did you really?
Yes.
Oh, man. All right. Wow. Well, obviously, one thing we learned today is I need to go back and watch some of these old school Disney movies.
You're not going to, but you should.
I will. You know, the one I am interested in is the Woods.
Watcher in the Woods. Yes, and you got to do it.
It sounds creepy, and I mean, The Black Hole is another movie I need to catch up on. Everyone tells me it's really good. It's creepy.
Yeah.
They say it's creepy. It doesn't feel like a Disney movie.
You haven't seen The Black Hole either?
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
the only thing that's kind of cheesy about The Black Hole is that
special effects.
Yes, you can see the wires when they're like supposed to be floating, which is hilarious.
Oh, really?
It's like, well, there's not much you can do there, but they don't do it that often. It's just like in the very beginning. Anthony Perkins. Oh, creepy.
Anthony Perkins?
Yeah, I think he's the one that's in it. I swear.
Interesting.
Oh, you know what's another really good one? Have you seen Something Wicked This Way Comes?
That's what I've heard of.
Oh, you got okay. Here's the order. Here's the order of which you need to go in.
Okay.
The Watcher in the Woods. Mm-hmm. Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Okay.
The Black Hole.
That's the order.
That's the order.
That's the trilogy.
Yes. This is the Disney horror trilogy.
Disney horror trilogy.
Followed by Return to Oz.
Return to Oz. Oh, that I have seen.
Okay, thank goodness.
The
you saved yourself.
The girl
just
from,
then.
Girl from The Craft was in it.
Yeah.
Faruza
Balk.
Something like that?
Faruza Balk?
Faruza. I can't pronounce names. So I'm not going to pronounce
it. Doesn't matter.
All right. Well, let's get to the new edition of my show called Quick Thinks. Now, Miss Movies, her name means she misses movies sometimes.
I do.
So if you haven't seen some of these, don't feel bad. But let's see what we got.
Well, you
here.
didn't see mine, so it's okay.
Yes, that's true. If anything, I'm missing movies. All right, so here we go. Zaya Belcher, IC Belcher 95. He last watched The Conjuring. Did you see this?
I didn't, but I want to. I it was like up on the screen to like rent or something in my house, and I was like, let's watch this, Jeff, and he was just like, no, it's already 10:30. We're not doing it. I was like, I know, you're right.
You say 10:30?
10:30. Let me tell you, friends. Let me just tell you, when you are a parent, 10:30 starting a movie at that time is impossible. Impossible. You could do 10:25. Maybe.
I get up really early. I bet you Conjuring is scarier than that Woods movie though.
Probably. Because
PG-13.
The Watcher in the Woods is more about like I don't know. It's not giving you those jump scares.
Yeah, it's not the jump scares. All right, Spencer at the Dirty Spoons. That's an interesting name.
Hey,
Spencer's great. Spencer, I always see you, Spencer. I never realized that was your handle. That's pretty awesome and dirty. I saw Pacific Rim today. Love that movie. Did you see Pacific Rim? She's shaking her head.
No.
Very fun movie. I went to the premiere of this, and I got to say hi to Del Toro. And one funny story I will share is they were giving free popcorn and soda. This is at the Man Chinese Theater. No, it was the Dolby Theater. And as I'm
formerly Man Chinese?
Well, no, it's still the Man Chinese.
But it was
the
next
Kodak.
door. It's next door.
Yeah, it used to be the Kodak Theater. Now I think it's the Dolby Theater. And as I turn around, there's Tom Cruise, like literally 5 feet from me.
That is amazing.
No, but
I think I remember your pictures of him.
Yeah, here's the thing. In the 10 seconds took me to walk 5 feet to him, he was mobbed.
Of course.
Like, when I had a straight shot with nobody in my way to him.
Was he in Pacific Rim?
No, but he's really good friends with Del Toro, and he was about to do a film with him that fell through called The Mountain of Madness. And it was at Universal, and it was right around time the movie was coming together, so I think they were just buddy-buddy. And I'm literally walking towards it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to walk up and talk to Tom Cruise. And I must have just caught, even though I saw him, there was nobody behind me. It was just, wow. Before I knew it, I got close to him. And everyone's yelling, Tom. Just to make myself different, I yelled, Maverick! Maverick!
Yes, good.
Because I figured you would hear that throughout all the Toms.
Yes.
And, he's the coolest guy. I mean, he's one of the last true movie stars.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
It was really cool to see him. But sorry, Dirty Spoons. I like Pacific Rim. I think the sequel can improve because there were some things with the story that I felt were a little too All right, here's what I think you've seen.
Okay.
Mike Joyce at 11th Cub fan. Someone tweets last week. Hope the Cubs are doing good for you this year, buddy. Just watched Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Tell me you've seen this.
I've seen it.
Okay, you don't look happy.
The reason I'm not happy is because I saw it at it was so odd the way that I saw it.
How did you see it?
It was like in a hotel room in New Orleans with I was maybe like a freshman in high school, and it was just something that was on. Mm-hmm. So I started watching it, and I was kind of like, what the fuck is this movie? Like, what is going on? Like, I couldn't understand the tone because I didn't start from the beginning, and I had no clue, any background about it. So I'm like,
but you saw Sean Penn? Are you
joking me?
But you saw Sean Penn,
yeah,
Jennifer
and I'm like,
Connelly?
Yeah, but at the time, I wasn't thinking oh, that's Sean Penn. I
got you. The movie's definitely a product of its time.
Right.
It's almost like American Graffiti for another generation. It's just
so I totally get it now, but the first time I saw it, I was like, what is going on? What is happening right now? And then I would go to commercial and be like, Fast Times.
I said Jennifer Connelly. It's Phoebe Cates. Phoebe Cates. I always get those two confused. And that's the greatest Phoebe Cates scene in the history of movies. Let's do it. We were talking about this earlier. Carlos, wait for it. Great name. Wait for it.
I'm waiting.
Cinephile Lopez said Terminator 2. We were just talking about Sarah Connor earlier.
Terminator 2.
One of the all-time greats.
Listen, I see movies totally out of order. Totally out of order.
Yes, you are famous for that.
Let's talk about this. Which one did I see first of the Terminators? I saw the one with Claire Danes first. Is that the third one? Okay, so I saw 3, followed by 4.
Okay.
Then 1, and then 2. I only saw 2 maybe in 2012 or something like that.
Did you? Okay.
And I was like, this is amazing. Now I understand why they've revived this.
And you've done this for other trilogies and collections also. And the one thing I will say that's good about this is you started with the worst ones.
Right. And now I'm like,
it just got better as you went
exactly.
on. So that's actually kind of a good thing, even though it drives me crazy because I would go insane if somebody watched those movies in front of me out of order. I think I would just lose my mind. But
I'm also the type of person
you must
that
be
I'm
so
like,
confused. I think you said the same thing about Die Hard. Didn't you watch Die Hard out of order?
No. Yes.
No?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you...
Yeah, I saw like
maybe.
the one with Timothy Olyphant
But you...
first, and then
Oh,
it was
okay.
like, okay, I should understand with the ho ho ho, I have a machine gun or whatever whatever that line is. I should probably know this by now.
But you did see Back to the Future in order.
Of course.
Okay.
Oh wait, no.
No?
I didn't.
Not even Back to
I
the
saw the
Future?
first one, then the third one, then the second one. Because I saw the third one in theaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the second one, my parents wouldn't let me see.
Why?
When it came out. Because I was too young.
Too young? Okay. I understand that.
So I was old enough to go see the third one when it came out.
Gotcha.
So that's how
that happened
worked.
to me, but with Jaws. Yeah. I saw Jaws 4 in theaters before. And
Before
as a
the
kid, I was
first
an
one.
idiot, and I loved it. And then now you watch it, it's one of the worst movies ever made.
Right.
It's horrible.
That's not the one at SeaWorld, though.
No, that's 3.
I saw that one.
3's
probably
pretty damn
before
bad,
the
too.
First one.
You thought 3 couldn't get any worse, and then they made 4, and it was like, holy crap, it got
I've
worse.
only seen 3 and 1. So
Okay, well.
I haven't seen 2.
2 is actually okay.
Yeah.
Compared to 3 and 4, it's a masterpiece. But, yeah, so the first one is the best, though. First one's one of the best movies ever made. All right, well, Mr. Movies comes to the conclusion of our episode.
This is great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming by. Do us a favor. Where can they follow you? I know you're still on Twitter.
I'm still on Twitter at Miss Movies.
It's still at Miss Movies.
At
awesome.
Miss Movies.
And anywhere else they can find you?
I'm just on Instagram, but that's Miss_Movies. So
Miss _ somebody took Miss Movies.
I guess.
Unbelievable.
I tried.
Give it up if you're listening. You can find me at Schmoes JTE. Thank you for listening to JT Movie Things. If you're listening to this on iTunes, do me a favor. If you feel like I gave you a 5-star podcast, give me a 5-star rating. I think we did. Listen, if you're a big Disney fan, I apologize. I'll catch up on some of these movies. But for some reason, I was renting Teenage Mutant Turtles 50 times in a row before I looked at these movies. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, Miss Movies, thank you again. Thank you for this beautiful microphone.
You're welcome.
For allowing JT Movies to even happen.
That's right.
That's right. All right, guys. Do me a favor. Keep watching those movies and keep listening. Peace out.